Will Jack Della Maddalena shock the world, or is Islam Makhachev gonna run right through him? Before I get into that though, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe as I have brand new videos every single week. UFC 322 goes down this Saturday at Madison Square Garden, and this card is absolutely stacked, and I'm going to give my predictions for the main card. So let's start at the top. Jack Della Maddalena will be making his first title defense against Islam Makhachev. JDM is a phenomenal striker. His timing is ridiculous and he has pinpoint precision. That knee against Gilbert Burns was perfectly placed. If he somehow pulls something off like that against Islam, I think I'm going to have to pull myself off in excitement. Against Belal Muhammad, JDM showed he can stuff takedowns, force fighters backwards and stop them getting into their rhythm. His high guard, his ability to dip into sprawls and his footwork makes him incredibly awkward to shoot on, and he is always dangerous. But let's not pretend JDM didn't struggle badly against Burns until he threw that Hail Mary. He was down on all 3 rounds, and Islam Makhachev is certainly not Gilbert Burns, and he's definitely not Belal. Islam is one of, if not the best grapplers in the UFC. Physically strong, technically sharp and incredibly composed. He chains takedowns better than almost anyone, and once he gets top control, it's probably all over. His striking has improved massively as well. His head kick over Volkanovski was not a fluke, it was perfectly placed. And when it comes to being well-rounded, Islam is probably better than Khabib in that sense. The big question here is what happens with the power and size difference at 170. We have seen Islam get hurt by Volk and Poirier, and now he's fighting someone bigger than both of them. If JDM lands clean, Islam could be in trouble. But the problem is keeping Islam off, and I just don't see JDM doing that over 5 rounds. Though let's not forget he has the same team as Volk and been training with Craig Jones. Let's remember how competitive Volk versus Islam 1 was, but do not remind me of the rematch.
Oh no! Islam! Head kick for Volk. No, he's down. He's out. Oh, jeez. Islam Makhachev knocks out Volkanovski in the first round.
So maybe, just maybe, JDM has something up his sleeve, and as much as I'm praying JDM gets the win here, I cannot pick against Islam Makhachev. Burns and Belal let JDM off the hook when they did manage to take him down. Islam will not do that. If Islam gets a takedown, he will immediately take advantage and be incredibly aggressive. I think JDM will start scrambling, Islam will snatch something up in a transition and get him out of there via submission. So if I have to be precise though, I'm going Islam Makhachev by submission in the 2nd round. Then in the co-main event, we have another former champion moving up a division. Zhang Weili will be taking on Valentina Shevchenko for the chance to become flyweight champion. People talk about Zhang Weili like she's a young, hungry contender coming into her prime. She and Valentina are literally 1 year apart. People forget Zhang Weili became world champion 6 years ago. She's fought the highest level opponents in her division and they have very similar MMA records, but Valentina has a lifetime of high level kickboxing and Muay Thai behind her, and that experience is vast, but it also means more miles on the clock and more damage absorbed over the years. So if this fight isn't about age or experience, what does it come down to? I think it's going to come down to physicality and who can adjust better on the fly. And with Zhang Weili moving up, you would think Valentina has the size advantage, but they're only 2 centimeters apart. And Zhang Weili always looked like she had a huge cut at strawweight. Now she's moving up, she can bulk properly, rehydrate properly, and let her athleticism shine. I think Zhang is going to be the bigger, stronger woman on the night. And if we're talking about adjusting, Zhang has proved she can do it time and time again. Since the losses to Rose Namajunas, she has reinvented herself. She's gone from a wild brawler to a technical, complete fighter. Amazing wrestling, strong offensive clinch work and knockout power, and she's also got real submission threats. She is the definition of adapting. Valentina is still elite though. She's got sharp striking, great kicks, strong grappling and veteran experience at the highest level, but she has slowed down and she can be pushed back and outworked if someone forces the pace. I think this is going to be one of the best female fights we've ever had. Barely any mistakes, high volume and technical exchanges everywhere, but I do think Zhang Weili is going to edge this over 5 rounds. She will land more, be more physical and push the pace harder, so my prediction has to be Zhang Weili by decision. Next up we have Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Morales is a fantastic striker. He's long, fast, has a great jab, sharp counters and manages the distance really well, but is any of that really going to matter? Brady brings consistent pressure, clinch work, body locks, trips and smothering top control. Brady might not be flashy, but he gets the job done. He stays behind that high guard. Once he gets his hand on you, he'll drag you down and make you carry his weight over 3 rounds, and that is a nightmare for someone who needs space. Morales can win this if he keeps it long, but Brady is brilliant at making fights ugly and slow, and once he gets one clean takedown, it's all going to spiral his way. So my prediction has to be Sean Brady by decision. Then we move on to Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. This is a fascinating matchup. Leon is still one of the cleanest technicians in the division. Great jabs, great counters, sharp kicks, strong clinch work, and he reads his opponents well. And he beat the best welterweight of all time twice. But in his last 2 performances, we did not see any of that. Bilal pushed him back and beat him everywhere, and Sean Brady made him shoot a panic takedown and then snatched him up in a nasty submission. That is not the Leon Edwards we know. And Prates, on the other hand, is always dangerous. He's awkward, explosive, and has a knack for finding finishes, but he can be reckless and defensively wide open. And honestly, I don't even think he's that good. I think the fighting nerds are overrated as f***, and if Leon turns up, switched on, keeps a clear head and fights smart, he has this in the bag. Prates does not have the grappling chops to mix it up enough, and I think Leon can outstrike him and outgrapple Prates over 3 rounds, but if Leon shows up mentally broken like he was before, Prates will catch him with something big and it could be lights out. But my pick is Leon Edwards by decision if he plays it smart. And finally, opening up the main card, we have Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Dariush is incredibly experienced, well-rounded, and was the dark horse of the lightweight division for a long time, but he's getting long in the tooth now at 36, and he's been badly knocked out a couple of times, and his durability has faded. Saint Denis brings non-stop pressure, constant wrestling attempts, huge power, big submissions, and a willingness to eat damage to move forward, and Dariush is just too slow now to keep him off. But if Dariush can slow this down a bit and control the grappling early, he might be able to scrape a win, but Saint Denis will probably not allow him that breathing room. I think by the second round, Dariush is going to be sluggish, get caught with something big and get peppered up. So I'm picking Benoit Saint Denis by second round TKO, and that's my predictions for UFC 322. Islam by submission, Zhang Weili by decision, Brady by decision, Leon Edwards by decision, and Benoit Saint Denis by TKO. Do you agree? Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Thank you everyone for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help the channel out.